welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. Arsenal got the win against Liverpool yesterday. The Liverpool fans were humbled. 4-1, 5-1, they said, we're coming for you. I feel sorry for anyone that played against this Jurgen Klopp team because we got the bit between us and galvanised. 4 games in, that fell flat on its arse, didn't it? What did you say afterwards? What's the rhetoric afterwards? Arsenal are desperate. Arsenal are desperate. If Arsenal would have lost yesterday's game, the narrative would have been, is Mikel Arteta up for the job?
Bottle jobs.
Bottle job FC.
I tell you what, I mean,
Bottle job FC.
Let's get it into context with Liverpool fans or watch this down, watch this later. We played them at Anfield, right, and battered them, right, for 75 minutes in that game, right. Then they come to the Emirates in the FA Cup this year. We battered them, right, and we lost that game, and it was 2-0. I have no idea. On Sunday, we absolutely played them off the park yet again for the 3rd time in a row this season. And all you ever hear is Liverpool fans going, yeah, but we're still the main challengers to Man City. Get out of here. Get out of here. Look, things change, but let's get some facts on the table here. All right. We've battered Liverpool nearly every game this season for the majority of the matches. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say.
Well, you've got plenty more to say, Steve, because we've got another 59 minutes. It wouldn't be like you to be keeping quiet. So we've got plenty to say on this one, especially the talk of Arsenal's over celebrations. That's one that's really, really wound me up today. But as Liverpool, a lot of Liverpool fans are saying, Arsenal have gone to second, but not for long because Man City will win tonight and we'll go back to third. I don't know if you know how it works, but getting the 3 points is more important than the position at the time. We're talking about the 5th of February. Yeah, so that 3 points is important. Stop talking about it. It hasn't even made a difference in the league.
What they changed? They changed. Liverpool, Man City fans love to change the narrative, right? I'm all for saying where we are and what situation we're in at the moment and what we could do, what we can't do. Last week, what we've heard, wasn't it? You've got to beat Liverpool to win the league. You've got to take points off the big ones. You've got to take the big boys. Well, unless I'm living in some, on another planet, then all I can see this season is we've beat Man City and got 3 points. We've gone and we played Liverpool and got 4 points. So what's the new narrative? I'd like to know what the new narrative's going to be now. So
it's plastered all over Twitter. But first of all, let's introduce the guests today. I'm joined by Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, how you doing, mate? Good evening, everybody out there.
And I'm joined by a very happy and smiley Gareth. Gareth,
nice to forget that.
His team has been through the mill. Yeah, right now, these Mondays are usually he's hiding away in the corner, trying not to bring any attention to being a Man United fan. But after an emphatic 3-0 victory against West Ham United, a Man United team that has been stripped down to its bare knees. So he's going to have his say to that. And I'm sure he's got plenty to say. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, no, I'm also a good man. I'm more smiling at you boys. The clear happiness. You're desperately trying to not look well overconfident. Neither of you are succeeding. You're both clearly high as the sky right now. On living on Arsenal. Look at you both.
Put them in their places. That's what he's trying to do.
Do you know that's what it is? I think that's what it is, Garth. You hear it all beforehand. You hear what you are and what you're capable of, and you get other people from other clubs telling you what your team's all about. And when they go and absolutely play apparently the best team off the park, and then it all comes back again. And apparently, Arsenal, they can't do it. They go and got a new striker, and then you get the celebration. But yeah, it's a bit of be careful what you say next time type of thing to Man City Liverpool fans.
I think it's great. 3-1 against Liverpool. I mean, what was it? 16 games they hadn't lost in, or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
3-1. Like I said, I missed the last 20 minutes, but the 70 minutes I saw, you look like you're all over them most of the game. Liverpool had their moments. Like it's one of you were like, it wasn't a complete all your own way, but yeah, no, really good game, and you're proving that you're contenders. You know what I mean?
And I think that's exactly what you just said. I think that's the point. There's a lot of talk, and most of the season has been about. It feels like people felt like last season was a bit of a fluke, and it's kind of been vindicated now that by the way we've played, and haven't been as fluid as last season. I think that's the way people are talking, and a lot of what people are saying is that Arsenal aren't really in this race. It's more Liverpool and Man City because they've been there before. Yeah. So, and then you hear about all the predictions beforehand. There's a lot of Liverpool fans, and I know they're keeping quiet now, but a lot of it was 4-1, 3-1, 5-1. We're going to hand it to them. This is going to be like they're going to get dealt with. Their title's over. So then, when we do win, they have to accept that we are going to go it with both barrels.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I think just quickly, I'm just playing because obviously I'm Man United, so I hate them anyway, but devil's advocate, and they just come off the back, was it 4-1 against Chelsea? They just smashed up Chelsea 4-1, wasn't it?
Yeah,
like they're 16 games unbeaten, they're riding high. I don't think it's so much them, like I'm sure some are, but it weren't about your ability. I think it was more about how high they were riding their confidence going into that game, you know what I mean? But no, they got to take the loss that they've received because it was an outstanding performance, and you beat them up. So
yeah, and I say we didn't just beat them. And you're right.
No, exactly. So you beat them up. Yeah,
we did. We beat them up. They had 15 minutes in the second half where, they started to play it a bit, but that was it. Through the whole game. I mean, like you said, Garth, you're using your words. We beat them up. I don't. Liverpool ain't been beaten up like that for a long while. And we did it. So yeah, I think the fans and the team have got every right to, celebrate all they want.
What have you got coming up next? Who have you got over the next couple of games? Because I don't want to be like your next test, but
that's
test
the problem,
is the right word because you're challenging for the title. It's your next examination, your next. Who have you got? Because you do need to string them wins together to stay in that race. You know what I mean?
100%. And I think the worry was, look, we came off of the back of a draw to Liverpool away from home is not a bad result in the Premier League. But around that time, there was a lot of people were getting a bit dubious about how we were winning games. We went on to because I think it's not far from we lost to Aston Villa, Newcastle a couple of weeks before that. Then we drew against PSV, beat Brighton. So it was like, okay, drew with Liverpool, took the lead, but didn't really finish off the chances. Then we had the West Ham loss. Then we had the Fulham loss. And then we had lost Liverpool in the FA Cup. So it was not a good month. Christmas was not a good month for us.
Yeah.
Then we followed that after a little bit of a break and beat Palace 5-0. Followed that up with a nice win against Nottingham Forest. Now we're starting to get to the tough games. So you're looking at the next fixtures: Liverpool at home, West Ham away. The Liverpool win now. Now West Ham looks like a bit more like, do you know what? Beforehand, West Ham was looking like a really, really tough game mentally as well. Now it's going to be a tough game still, but we're going to that a lot more confident. Like, this is a game we should be winning now. This isn't 100%. Sort of what West Ham going to do. They usually cause us trouble. It's a game now. We look at it. We've got to win. If we're talking about being serious, the Liverpool game means nothing if we go to West Ham and drop points.
I think the difference. I think the difference. Like last season, we was on a good run. Say similar run to what we've been in the last few games. With the boys have gone out to Dubai. We've come back. We smashed Crystal Palace. I didn't get carried away over that. Crystal Palace 5-0. That we can do that on our day anytime. You go away to Forest, very difficult ground to go for us. We've lost there in the last three games. We go there. It was just it was an easy win. Just for the last 10 minutes, it got a little bit airy. But apart from that, and yesterday was an outstanding performance, and we had similar sort of performances like that leading up to the season, like when we sort of fell off a bit when we sort of against Bournemouth, Southampton, West Ham. Now, this is the type of games now with West Ham and Burnley that you think, right, if we can beat West Ham and Burnley, that's when I'll start to think, well, hold on, there might be something about us, because last season we was doing well. We played the big teams, went to these little teams after a big win, and we sort of like, fell off it. We wasn't capable for some reason or other. But yeah, as I say, I'll be a lot more, confident of where we're going to be and what the season's going to hold after these next two games, probably more than anything.
Yeah, but right now, outside looking in, you're still third, in my opinion, behind Liverpool and Man City for the title change. But you're right, but it's going to be such like if you're a neutral fan, this is going to be a great run in for the end of the title. All three of you are playing great football at the moment. I know you just beat Liverpool 3-1, but before then they've been playing great football. You look like you're getting into your stride. Man City are always worth their money. Yeah, so it's going to be like. And that's what I'm saying, yeah, because I'm just looking at you. You got, like you say, West Ham away, Burnley away, both easy banana skins. Like people might poo-poo that, but like even Burnley away, that's them ones where you turn up and you get beat 1-0 somehow. You've had 24 shots, 17 on target, but don't
Burnley
score.
away, is it? It's Burnley away. Is it away?
Burnley away, yeah, it's away, and then you got Newcastle at home after that.
Yeah.
Them three games, that's really going to make a big. I know it's easy to say, it's cliche, but it's really going to show, like you're saying, Steve, where your season's going. If you what you get out of the next
after those games. I mean, if they can play like the way they did,
exactly, then you'll beat anyone. Yeah,
if that can be like a thing now for the rest of the season, the way we played yesterday.
That's hard. That's a big call.
It is a massive call.
You don't need to be that good to win these games, because you played exceptionally yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll take a scrappy 1-0 over playing really well. That's what I'm saying. And they're losing or drawing.
I think what you've got to do, Garth, you've got what you've got to do though, is go into the same frame of mind. When you play Liverpool, when you play like West Ham and then Burnley, you've got to go with the same. You can't go in there thinking, this is easier, this is a little bit easier. Because subconsciously in your head, you won't play as well.
Entirely. Yeah, you're right.
You've got to go out there like that's we had to win that game yesterday. We had to win it. There was we had to win it. We got to go like that all season.
Agree? Were you out of the title race if you lost that game?
It would have been really difficult.
I do think that I don't think it was a must win. I thought it was a must not lose.
Not lose. That's what you're saying. Yeah,
must not lose. Nice. Yeah. It had been frustrating, but. I mean,
for me,
you can't draw against Liverpool and like be completely gutted.
No.
Like this is a very, very good Liverpool team, and I know a lot of people have reminded me that they're missing players, but it's still a very, very good Liverpool team.
Strong team still.
It's a very strong team.
But what was it though? It was before the game. It was missing Salah, but it don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter that we're missing Salah. It don't matter.
I didn't have a shot.
After the game, we're missing Salah.
You can't be saying that. Any Liverpool fan listening to this, you can never be saying no Salah, never mind, because he is a linchpin in your team. Like, there's no replacing it. A lot of these teams now, I was talking last week, like these players getting on. It's going to be interesting to see how they replace a Salah at Liverpool. That's what I'm saying. And the Van Dijk, 31 and 32 now. So.
Do you think that was part of it though? The looking at what he's got there, looking at the rebuild he's got to do, and potentially thought, I just ain't got it in me. Because he's now got to replace a guy who scores 30 plus goals a season in all competitions.
It's never going to happen.
One of the best goalkeepers in the world, one of the best defenders that they've had in the last 20 years. Ever. Sorry, yeah.
Because you only get because you are. This is the thing. Are you finding that this generation we were very lucky where Chelsea went out and bought a load of players and then got rid of them all, so that you had Kevin De Bruyne at Wolfsburg. You had was it Fiorentina? Salah was at, or was it Roma?
Fiorentina and Roma.
Yeah, and you can pick them up for like 30 mil. You're never going to get them bargains now. So it's a gamble on whoever you bring in. It might work out because I like Diaz anyway. Gakpo looks like he's coming into his own now, but none of these boys are ever going to be Salah. That's no insult, you know what I mean?
It's not. And if you look at the players that they had to already replace, Sadio Mane, Bobby Firmino, they also will go down as Liverpool legends. Like some of the greatest players that Liverpool have had, and he's already got to try and replace them.
You never know though, because we never knew when Salah came in. He was literally probably up nobody. Nobody really knew what.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like these days, them players ain't there, are they?
They weren't there. As I was saying, you don't know though, do you? Though, because when Salah came into the Liverpool side, we was like, who's he? Do you know what I mean?
No. But the thing is,
you don't know. Someone could come from somewhere.
The thing is, if you like, firstly, Salah was bought by Chelsea, so he wasn't an unknown quantity at that point. Like he's a prospect. He then went to Roma.
They were in everyone, didn't
they? He went to Roma and Fiorentina and bagged goals and got assists. Like he's on. If you look at his record at both of them clubs, he's done really well. So I think what Scar's saying is, if there's a player now that bags 14 goals in the Serie A, he ain't going for 30 million. He's going for
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, like Højbjerg, who
for 70
goals, for 70 mil.
And that's what I mean. Liverpool's financial restraints often stop them going big, is what I mean. So he probably looked at it. To your question, Kid, Klopp was like, you're talking literally in the modern game, 250 to 300 million pound worth of player.
And they already had to go big at that point anyway.
If you're looking at a possible salary replacement, similar to, as Salah was when he was at Chelsea, Roma, Fulham. So you're looking exactly like what Kieran said there. You're looking at a Florian Wirtz. You're looking at a Kevin Schuyler. They're 100 million, aren't they? They're 100 million.
Florian Wirtz. Even you said a couple of weeks ago, is Florian Wirtz really the guy that's going to come into the Premier League and tear it up? I don't know. So, no. He's a small guy. Is he as technically gifted as someone like a David Silva? Not even close to it.
Like, more a Sancho player.
It's a bit harsh on him, but I don't know whether that's the answer, which says a lot, considering he's one of the biggest prospects in Europe right now.
Yeah. There is not another Salah out there. That's my for Liverpool right now. There isn't another Van Dijk ready-made. There isn't another Salah ready-made, is my point. And to replace both those players in the space of maybe a year, 2 years, that's a big ask with your manager gone as well. Now, that's a big ask. So they may get lucky because there is prospects out there, obviously. But ready-made, they ain't there. Not for
the closest you got. The closest you got is Mbappe, and it probably is an argument to say probably whether But there's an argument to say whether Mbappe come to Liverpool, would he be as successful at Liverpool?
Did he not just say he won't come to the Premier League? Was that a fake story? I saw a story saying...
I won't go past him. He's a Premier League.
I don't know, mate. I don't know.
He's Galactico. He's a Galactico.
It does seem that way.
Listen, no offense to Paris Saint-Germain, but he's got to go to prove to me that he's like... He's done it. Like you've done it, Paris Saint-Germain now, mate. Like you're young enough. Go to Real Madrid, smash it up with Jude Bellingham. Like
Jude Bellingham better win the Ballon d'Or this season, isn't he? If he comes next season, we go like, I don't believe it because we all know how fixed the Ballon d'Or is, don't we? You know,
Messi wins it again.
Messi, I was going to say, they're going to get Messi to 10, mate. They're going to get Messi to 10. You know what I mean?
Mbappe win it just for turning up for like 2 games. Ballon d'Or, Real Madrid, Mbappe.
They'll rip up out there.
Steve, do you think the Klopp announcement will affect Liverpool for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean that only sort of we wait and see to see how that does affect them. I think there's a possibility that they could, and there's a possibility that it could go the other way. But I mean he's a great manager and he's done great things. I mean, I've got nothing but good words to say about him, but it's getting a bit boring and the comparisons are getting a little bit more
now I've got nothing good to say about him because I've been wound up by their fans talking like it's
the Wenger one
Sir Alex
come on, mate.
Klopp, maybe. Yeah, Sir Alex then Klopp. What?
No.
You won one Prem.
One Prem, mate.
In the same conversation as Sir Alex. Like,
their argument is that Klopp's won the Champions League and Wenger ain't, which I think.
Oh yeah, we're talking about the Premier League.
It's lazy, that is.
Premier League.
Fearful time at best. And look, if he goes and wins 2 this year, I might have a conversation with you about him taking Mourinho's place in 4th, maybe. But at the moment, 5th at best. Like he's nowhere near the Wengers, the Fergusons, the Peps.
No.
And then again, there's no disrespect. In the modern day, people see that as a slight. We're talking about the 3 greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, it's
in
not
the
a
Premier
slight.
League.
Yeah,
like, it's not like saying that you're not quite there is not saying that you're rubbish. You know what I mean? Before people are like, you don't rate Klopp. No, I do. He's just
no,
not,
I hate that. You say, so are you Messi or Ronaldo? Oh, do you know what? I think I prefer Ronaldo because this. Oh, what, you're saying that Messi's rubbish, are you? Oh, mate, Ronaldo in the bin.
I've seen people like sort of dismiss Ferguson recently.
We've talked about it for days.
And it's like, what was one the way they put it? Someone put it like this is the greatest era of football managers ever. You know, Wenger and Ferguson. You know, not
for me. No,
we knew. What is it? This is the Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal era. You know, so comparing Klopp and Pep to that, this is the greatest. Do you know what I mean? Which no,
you can have but you will never have the venom of, because football, you had to take that out of it. Mourinho's the last of the managers where they were on the touchline, they're spiky. Like Fergie and Wenger would definitely have had a fight outside. If it wasn't like in front, at points. If it wasn't in front of millions of people, you know they would have started swinging at points with each other. You don't have that anymore. That rivalry you don't have. That
it's funny how they're talking about the Federer, Djokovic, Nadal when Federer, Djokovic, Nadal are like basically retired, if not basically retired. So that's not even their generation. That's our generation, which is Ferguson, Mourinho, and Wenger. So what are you even talking about? Even your analogies are stupid. Even your analogies don't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Rubbish, absolute garbage.
I don't think this is what it is. Weird. You don't need to overstate what Klopp's done, because he took the sleeping giant that is Liverpool and made them a force again. Like, he'll go down as one of the best. You don't need to overplay it by like putting it. You just don't.
So Steve, Liverpool's rebuild. How do you think that goes? Like, obviously they've got a lot of work to do with Klopp leaving, as we said. All their players, the big names, they might not even want to stay there once Klopp leaves. They might not be up for the rebuild. Do you think some Liverpool fans are saying it does just because Klopp's leaving, it doesn't mean that there's going to be one less team competing for the league? Do you think there will be one less team competing for the league, at least for the foreseeable future?
I think if you know the rumours are true, and you know and what we think might happen does happen, and that's obviously the Salah leaving and Van Dijk leaving, and who knows, maybe even possibly Trent leaving. Although I can't see he's a scasser, and he'll probably end up being a captain, so he'll probably stay. But I mean, Salah and Van Dijk and Klopp, are very possible people that could leave, and I mean, and they could go backwards from that. And as you say, you look at players out there who can replace them players, and there's no one as good. People they're bigging up, Darwin Núñez, he's going to be the new shining light. I mean, for me, look, I like Darwin Núñez as a person. I quite like him, but he's not it. He's not the man who's going to take Liverpool to win Champions League, and he's not going to be the guy who's going to lead the line to winning them a title. So for me, I think Klopp's decided that this is the year. This is the year. He's going to have. He's guaranteed, whether he's sure or not about Van Dijk or Salah. He knows they're going to be there this year, and he knows that this is his chance to win another possible quadruple, if you like, or he's in for 4 trophies. So he's never going to be like that again, and he knows he's never going to be like that without those two players, and he'll probably go back to the way before when Liverpool were, when they needed the 2 players to come in and win the title then, didn't they? And they bought Alisson and Van Dijk, and that took them. I think Liverpool will probably go back to that, because I look at the rest of the team, and they've got good youngsters and they've got good players coming through, but you see what Arsenal did to them yesterday, and I feel in years to come, years or two, that it could be Arsenal and Man City. So it's possible. I think Klopp knows. I think he knows. I think that's the reason why he wants out. He's never going to be in this good a situation again with Liverpool. He wants to go out at the top, and he probably don't feel that he's going to get back to this type of, place again with this squad. So yeah, I'd worry if I was a Liverpool fan. I don't think it's hard to sort of look at their situation and think, we could go a little bit backward. We might have to take like another 2-3 year, Champions League or before they start going for the title again. But they've got a great chance this year. Let's not,
Steve. I mean, Garth. It's a big job. It was a big job for Klopp in the first place. It'd be a bigger job for the person who takes over. How do you see it going?
I mean, again, I'll play devil's advocate because what Steve said is where I'm at. Really, realistically, like briefly, the losing manager of Klopp's, like mystique's the wrong word, but like control over the club, his presence is all Liverpool. It's very hard to replace. But devil's advocate, a new manager comes in. Van Dijk's already gone. Salah's already gone. Possible blessing in disguise means that you've got the money from these players, and it's not your fault that they're gone. You know what I mean? Like it's not. You haven't got to replace them. I have to disagree with you, Stephen. One thing I think Darwin Núñez, if he finds his scoring patch, if he gets a manager that can play to his strengths, they've got a real winner of a striker there. I think, as I said before, I think he's got all the attributes. He just isn't hitting enough goals yet. So, but I think he'll be right. I think Sir Bosley, decent. They've got the bare bones there, but listen, it happens with Arsenal, it happens with Man United. Every time, and with Chelsea, every time a big manager leaves, I've not seen someone new come in and be able to just take that ship immediately and keep it in the same direction of winning all the time. So, yeah, I'd be downbeat, like Steve said. Like, you've got to be downbeat if you're a Liverpool fan at the moment.
Stop
worried.
smiling. I'm downbeat.
Don't worry. No, but you have. No, in all seriousness, in all seriousness, you have. I don't think it's going to. You said something about it becoming a one league team because someone comes fills that spot. It might be you boys who fill that spot. You know what I mean? Newcastle, if they get the right manager in with the money, that it might be them that fills that spot of the next challengers. So I'm not worried about that. But no, yeah, it's going to be very difficult, and I don't see the elite manager out there that comes in and has the personality to just because you hear the stories about when Klopp turned up, don't you? Like, and he walked in and immediately his presence was felt in the dressing room in this bit. Like,
he's a big character though. There's no one out there that I've seen.
Yeah, that's
like they're talking about Xavi Alonso. Yeah, look, he's doing really good things at Leverkusen, but at the moment, there's no. I need to see some longevity. Did you take it over Liverpool? Arsenal were on their knees when they got Arteta. So this is not the same situation. Liverpool. I've not dropped off like Arsenal dropped off. Like, it's a completely different scenario.
Yeah.
De Zerbi, I hear like he's very meticulous with his training, like all the good things. But as a character, is that going to blow away the Liverpool players that are currently in there now? I'm sure they'd be understanding. But then on the flip side, are the fans going to give these new managers enough time as well? So there's a lot to take in. I personally do feel there's going to be a big drop off. Well, how long that will last, we don't know, but it's going to be a big. It's like a. Do you think there's a manager? Do you think there's a manager out there who could come in and convince Van Dijk and Salah to stay? Because if they do, then that's a different story, isn't it? But it would be for me. It'd be one of the. It would have to be one of the bigger names, the more experienced managers. That Ancelotti. Exactly. I think Ancelotti could go into Liverpool and continue what Klopp's doing. It might be a different way of playing, might be a different whatever. But I think I really rate Ancelotti as a manager who can come to any club and do the business. Do you know what I mean? He went to Everton. Everton was a mess, and he still managed to get a tune out of Everton. Like, and what 2 years later, they're just about getting it with Sean Dyche, although expectations have fallen off massively. So I think he's won. The Zidane's, I don't know. People talk down his achievement because he was at Real Madrid, but to win 4 Champions League medals, like, was it back to back, whatever it was, and
three definitely were back to back. Leagues
as well. Like, you got to ask yourself, has anyone else done that? It was like me and Garth speaking about the other day about Pep. other people have that money, they're not quite doing it the same, and that's what you've got to look at it. People that Zidane had, that other people who had that Real Madrid team, and they ain't done it like Zidane. So, but I think it would take the experienced managers to do it. I don't think any of these new ones are going to do it the same way as Klopp's done it.
I also think Zidane's one of them characters. I've just every time a job in England is brought up, when he's asked a question, you can see him like, "Nah, I don't fancy England, mate."
It's not him.
Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
He can't speak English, can he? He can't speak English, can he?
No, but like it's more like, I don't think he wants to, like, he done Real Madrid, and one of the reasons he gave up was the pressure. And I think he just thinks, like, I'm really just like, from looks I'm getting this, but every time he's mentioned in a job with England, he's always very disdainful about it.
It's like a nice. Awkward smile. Yeah. I think it's France.
I think most of the clubs, I think, like when Zidane's been linked, it's like a rebuilding situation.
Yeah. Big job.
And that ain't Zidane.
Yeah.
Zidane's a come straight in and take over and just going to coach. But I want, like, the top players there. You know, I don't want you to give me a checkbook and go out and look for players. That's not.
If I was a Liverpool fan,
Zidane.
I'd be worried Zidane replacing Klopp. That is not the cult personality I'm talking about coming in. Like I said last time, you almost need a Moyes type character like Man United had. Not quite as bad as what turned out, but someone who's just going to get you that sixth, fifth, fourth for a couple of years. You know what I mean? Like, rebuild, get the players in, etc., and then go and get the Ancelotti.
Let's not forget this. This was Zidane that he didn't quite write off Vinicius Junior, but Vinicius Junior was having a very hard time under Zidane, and a lot of the noise was coming that he wasn't quite good enough. Since Ancelotti's come in, the man who is known for putting an arm around the shoulder of a player, he's absolutely flying now. Let's get on to Man United. After what has been a very up and down season, Ten Hag's been run through the mill. The fans are at each other's throat. We're seeing a bit of shining light. Højlund's starting to get some opportunities. One of the players here in the middle is actually passing the ball, which is a good start. Toby Maino seems to be a big player at the time, at the moment as well. Garth, let's get on to you. 3-0 win against West Ham. Was it flattering, the scoreline, or was it fully deserved?
Oh, fully deserved. Yeah, West Ham is one of them games where West Ham fans may remember their two chances, like big chances they had, where they definitely could have scored early in the first half, and then I think early in the second half, just before we went up and scored the second. I think, if that's the way it was. But anyway, but no, it fully deserved 3-0 win. It's the best I've seen us play in a while. The team's starting to click, and then obviously Lisandro Martinez goes down for 8 weeks, which is just lovely jubbly now. So that's going to cost Man United dear. It's the first game where I can say that Man United's team was what I'd call the first choice in every position. It's only Mason Mount out, really, and it showed in the performance. Everyone looked good. Casemiro looked good. The wingers look good. Garnacho looks like he's sitting on the right. Hopefully that means it's the end of Anthony out there. Maino, listen, and like I keep saying this, he's like the kids ain't everyone. Calm down. I'm seeing people talk about him being in the England team. It should be Bellingham, Rice, and Maino in the World Cup. Lads, like, come on, calm down. Just calm down, all right? Because he's going to be. This is the thing. Even Ten Hag said you can't play him every game. He hasn't. Like, it ain't like that anymore. With the high performance that people need, he's always going to bring McTominay on 60 minutes or so, 70 minutes as the closer. Stop booing. The kids had a great, you know what I mean? But yeah, looking good. So yeah, Rashford come back as well. Like, opening, like, obviously trying to harder. That's what's annoying.
I know. That's settled now with the Rashford stuff. We move on.
That's what you've got to do as a fan, haven't you? You've got to move on. But like, I understand when we're talking about his attitude, that's what annoys people is that it seems he can do it sometimes when he wants to, and he doesn't always do it. But he's too far inside his own head. So yeah, move on from that. Ten Hag, we're cooking, but that Martinez injury is a massive part, like, because he's such a key part of our team. So 8 weeks without him, back to Maguire and Varane at the back, or Lindelof and Varane. It's disappointing, very disappointing.
When did Martinez come back? What game?
Like 3 games ago. Literally, just as our form started to turn around. Yeah.
Oh, so it is. Like, it's all tied in. It's all fully tied in.
He's one of the, like, Nathan will say that he's the most important part of Ten Hag's system, or one of, because of his calmness on the ball. Like, Varane can pass, but Varane don't like having it with players coming at him, if that makes sense. Like, Martinez loves to have the challenge. He loves to have a man on his shoulder. So that missing, you don't have that bite at the back. It slows down our attacks massively. And as you saw against West Ham, our attacks all about getting it out and getting the pace burners with them 3 fast players up front. So, yeah, dangerous. It's I'm not looking forward to our next game. Actually, I don't know who we've got next. Actually, who is it?
Villa, isn't it? Is it Villa?
Yeah, Villa away. Yeah, so that's a tough game as well. That's a tough game. So yeah,
Steve, it's, Man United quite a big turnaround. It's you've seen it with Arsenal. New manager comes in, and if they've had to rely on some of their younger players to sort of pull it through, they're giving honest performances.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the 3 player. I mean, maybe saying I'm a big fan is going a bit too far, but I do like Højlund, Garnacho, and especially Mainu, and these 3 players. You know, who knows what they could be? As you say, they look the real deal to me. Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean. I don't know what I mean. I watched the game, and you know, West Ham. I thought they were a little bit. They played nice football at the beginning, but you know, in the end, Manchester United would just caught them on the break, got the first goal, and then it was just, you know, they destroyed them after that. But yeah, I mean, look, these 3 players. I mean, you know, I mean, I don't know what Gar thinks. Whether he thinks it's, you know, maybe a little bit of a slight on Manchester United at the minute that. You know, these 3 players are not so much the star players, but, you know, that they need to play every week. Højlund, I like. He looks powerful. That was a fantastic finish, you know,
it was a lovely finish.
For the goal. Lovely touch, you know, took him, you know, to the side and then he buried it. And Garnacho, look, for me, you know, he's a little bit raw, Garnacho, but there's no doubt about him. He's one of these players who, you know, you love to watch if you're a Man United fan, and you hate when he gets on the ball if you're a rival fan, because he frightens you, and he's pacey.
Garnacho's
Is he a little bit frustrating for you? Because I watched, I started watching Garnacho a lot more once the hype started coming on. I've spoken to you about him, and for me, he would frustrate the hell out of me because of his decision making. And it seems like he's like a winger that has the mindset of an inside forward that looks to go for goal over the assist. And I think if he looks the other way round, it'd be a lot more productive for the team if he would
100%.
work on his crossing and that final ball.
There's another one of the Man United players that's got a lot of promise, but doesn't play like. But there's something missing that's key. Like Wan-Bissaka, like he's crossing. Like,
he's a fullback.
And Garnacho, just like listen, he's got bags of ability. Steve, no two ways about it. He's like really could be a quality player, but if he doesn't learn, because football's all about systems. If he doesn't learn how to get these assists up, how to bring other players into the game, he's never going to be that next step up. Like. He's not going to be like, as much as I don't like Jadon Sancho at the moment. Jadon Sancho's got a natural ability of finding players and making, when he's at his best, making the right decision. Like, whereas Garnacho, you're putting a lot on the fact that he's hitting the ball lovely and scoring goals, bangers as well. And like, yeah, he's good. But I never see him take an extra step because of his decision making. Is the best way to say it. He's never going to be the next one up.
I think he's in that bracket now. I think, look, Manchester United are in a situation now where they're in transition, aren't they? You know, they're building for they're building for the next year or two. So I think I do agree that if this was a normal Manchester United season in a normal Manchester United side of going back in the past, then you would say Højlund and Garnacho and Mainu, then they would be the people on the bench, and you'd have people in front. People in front of them. But at the moment, Man United ain't that, and I think Man United have got an opportunity now where you've got 3 players who could be something special, and this season, all 3 of them have showed me anyway, you know, that they've definitely got something about them. So I think I don't think there's anybody really who gets in front of them at the moment. To me,
No.
I'd play Mainu every game. I know you said that he ideally in any other situation you would say, yeah, Mainu rested. I think he's out of three midfield players. I think he's at the moment he's your best one on form.
Can I ask, because I don't know if you have or not, have you watched the games, like the full 90 minutes recently, or is it the highlight packages you're getting of Maino that you're seeing? Just because it will change your opinion on the player, because he does the 90 minutes. You can see how raw he still is, how young and inexperienced he is. Listen, he's clearly an amazing natural talent, but there's still them moments that are, I suppose, you only get from experiencing games. But do you know what I mean? Like game management, because he gave it away against, I forget who it was when they went and scored. Was that in the Champions League? Just little, and that's more what I mean. You're entirely right, Steve. Listen, Man United, we shouldn't be relying on 18-year-old Kobe Mainoo to be our starter. It should be that he's our 20-minute who comes on and closes out games. You're entirely right, and that is the problem for us at the moment. I still think you can't put this much pressure on Kobe Mainoo or Garnacho. They're going to be great ballers. Kobe Mainoo looks like he's going to be a great baller, but
right now,
Man United shouldn't have this much pressure on them.
Right now, you're right. I mean, I don't watch Man United full 90 minutes. I don't concentrate on every kick like I do when I watch Arsenal. You know, I kick up the other. I do watch when they play live, and you know, I do get some idea, and also you hear things from other people, and you get ideas from other people. You know, on how good they are. But at this moment in time, would you say that there's players in front of Garnacho? Hoyland, I think, is obviously a nailing. So
Hoyland's nailed. Yeah.
It's not
we
even a thing.
Don't have another striker.
Yeah, exactly. Even with Hoyland, you'd probably think, well, I'd rather someone else up front with Hoyland coming on. I mean, that would.
I was going to get into. He's getting into it now, like Hoyland. If he can keep this form up, where he's good. You know what I mean?
Is he impressing you a bit more? Because I know you was a bit on the fence with him at the start.
But
I need to remember. Sorry, is there better than Mainoo? You was asking.
Yeah, I was going to say, like with Garnacho and Mainoo, the two players, you know, are there two players at Manchester United at the moment that you would say, well, no, they're better than them? They start in front of them.
Well, yeah, for Garnacho probably not at the moment. Mainoo definitely. Mount should start in front of him when he comes back, and that's what I mean. And that's when Mainoo becomes the 20-minute player. You know what I mean? So, but listen, I agree with you entirely. No, Man United should not be relying. This is my point as well. Should not be relying on 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds to be our best players. But at the moment, they are, and it's not right, because Man United should have these players as our backup boys. You know, Hoyland. I said at the start of the season, didn't I, that I'm happy if he scores 12 goals. I shouldn't have expected much from him, because when you saw him at Atlanta, he was raw. You've got all the attributes, but like he is raw. So if he gets double figures properly this year in the Premier League, I'll be ecstatic. If he scores 12 to 15 all comps, I think that's a good first season return for him, to be quite honest with you. And he's starting. The problem at the beginning here was a bit like Onana doesn't look like a goalkeeper sometimes. He wasn't doing the things, even if he was missing, he wasn't in the right position. His body wasn't in the right shape to receive.
Because he's learning his trade, didn't he? He's
learning his trade, exactly. And that was all. But no, listen, he looks like he's a natural striker, in my opinion. A bit, and you know what I like, a big, tall, powerful target man.
I'm the same, Garth. I'm the same.
Yeah. So before we move on, what with Ten Hag? If he sees out the rest of the season, how do you see it playing out?
If he gets Champions League, which will be very lucky, he survives. If he doesn't, he's going to be out 100%. Ineos will use that as their excuse to get him out. Even if he gets Champions League, I can imagine he's still being on a sticky wicket. The new owners, clear as day. These stories don't keep coming out in the press, in my opinion, if it isn't that they're nudging that narrative forward. You know what I mean? But that's where I'm at. Yeah, if he gets Champions League, his job's a lot safer than if he doesn't. And we're 8 points off Champions League, so it's going to be a tough ask for him to do.
Do you feel more confident though with the new people that are coming in, that he could potentially have a bit more help when it comes to bringing in the players?
100%. Again, I've had these false dawns before of we're changing this fella for this fella. It does sound like these boys are far more football minded and been far more in the trenches, so to speak, of like football negotiations and actual like man management. So yeah, but proof's in the pudding. I don't know any of them. I don't really know what they're about, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But yeah. There is optimism there, 100%.
Steve, quickly, Ten Hag, what's your thoughts on the situation? If Arsenal gets Champions League, he should get an opportunity. If not, they're going to sort of push him out. How do you see it playing out?
I think if he gets Champions League, I think that'd be an unbelievable job for what he's been through.
Yeah.
What he's gone through since he's especially this season, as a point in question, has been an absolute joke. Yes, look, his signings ain't been great. We still don't know if Mant's going to be great yet. We've hardly seen him, so that that remains to be seen. But if he got Champions League, I think he's got to stay, isn't he? I mean, Jesus. I mean, to go through this, I mean, he's 8 points behind now. If he was to eventually, I think you've got to give him another season. A season of no egg. A season of no egg. A season of no egg. And hopefully players there that, there's injuries there that won't occur. Hopefully, he'll get some money in the summer and he can buy a couple of players in. Hopefully Rashford's learnt his lesson, because on his day he's incredible. I think you've got to give Ten Hag that chance. Because at the end of the day, who's going to come in and replace it? Who's out? There's no one out. There's no one out. There's no one out there to come in and get him. I've heard like Simeone and all that, but is he going to want to come in?
Even if it does, it ain't the right. You just start again with another manager with another philosophy. Like, you've got to see out his plan. Although I will quickly say, Noag, he's got both Greenwood and Sancho coming back off loan at the start of the season, so he will have a tiny bit. And again, how he deals with that at the start of next season.
But the thing is, though, Garth, what would be good, I think, but if Ineos can take that off of him, if they can say, look, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with Greenwood. We'll deal with Sancho. You get on with your football. You just get on with your coaching.
That's fine, unless like what they start saying is we want him in the team, and he does. Do you see what I'm saying? What I mean about I've got to be like cautious about how I see that what these boys do, because they already put it out. They wanted Greenwood back in the team. Clearly, they clearly wanted Greenwood back in the team.
They did.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But listen, hopeful at the moment. There's no two ways about it with what Ineos are about to do. Everyone I speak to, like Steve, who's in the know, who talk to people who are in the know, like they say that the people that Man United are signing are some of the best in their like chosen positions around in football in terms. So that guy from Man City is massive, mate. He could prove massive. Players that he's brought to Man City, if he can do the same job at Man United, then But I come back to you. Well, you're right. Who's out there? Because Ancelotti's signed for another year, hasn't he? 2 years. He's because they thought he was going to go. He's available. And you start Nagelsmann. You get into this again. What I'm saying is a whole new philosophy, a whole new system of like. So he's got to stay. Hopefully.
Yeah, and even a Nagelsmann needs the structure around him.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's what we've been talking about for ages that Man United are missing. Onto this man here. He started out in the Premier League as everyone's favourite. He dropped lines like, we only know one way, mate. Since then, is the Postecoglou one way? Does he need to find another way? In recent games, we've seen Tottenham drop points to Manchester United. No mean feat, away from home. Not been on the best form though. The drop point lost in the FA Cup, their last opportunity to get some silverware this season. Recently, a very tight game against Brentford and dropping points in a not last minute goal against Everton, but again a late goal against Everton, something that we've seen quite a few times this season. Steve, do you think that Tottenham fans? And I know they've been talking about, yes, we've had Mourinho for the last how many years, and we had Conte, so we were suffering. It's a breath of fresh air to have this kind of football. But how long do you think it's going to be until they get a bit frustrated with these sort of? For me, it's a bit naive.
Tottenham fans don't seem to be getting frustrated, do they, over it at all? But I mean, I know if my team was playing that way, I'd be getting very frustrated. And you talk about there's only one way. There'll only be one way, mate. If he carries on playing like this, and that be on his bike and getting his P45. That'd be his only way. But no, look, he came in. You know, I liked him, and then he started getting a little bit, you know, sort of not arrogant, but a little bit too confident for my liking. You know, he came in and this is what I'm going to do. This is the way I'm going to play. You know, how are you going to play against Arsenal today? Are you going to play against Liverpool? Well, I just play the way I do. You know, I don't care who it is. You can't do that. You can't do that. And it's shown in recent weeks and with recent results that, you know, he can't do that. He's got some good players there, to be fair to him. He's got some, you know, some really good players at Spurs. You know, Pedro Porro's been fantastic for him.
Yeah.
Goalkeepers.
Udogie was a very good signing.
And Dogie's been brilliant.
Van
der Ven, mate.
How quick is he?
Oh.
It's ridiculous. His recovery play is a joke.
He is. I watched it against Everton. I was like, I tell you what.
He's a big unit as well, isn't he?
If Arsenal bought him, I don't know. I love Gabriel, I tell you, and I wouldn't swap him for anybody. But I tell you what, he would like.
Marie said to look out for him when he signed, didn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, did she?
He would get. He is something else. He's built like shit to ass. He's
a really adept left back as well. He can like proper play at left back.
Well, that pace, mate. That pace, I think he could probably play up front and all.
Powerful as well, isn't he?
On a wing. Very powerful. Built like a big shit ass. You know, he was up against players the weekend who like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. There was no slats. You could sort of give him 2 yards pace. He's caught him. Anyway, look, look, I don't think he's got to be careful. I think he has got to change his ways because I personally don't think, you know, they'll get Champions League football continuously playing like this. You know, Carlinson's been doing well this season. To be fair to him, I
just form up nice,
yeah. I mean, that's when a couple of great goals he scored the weekend.
Yeah.
Maddison's Maddison, but I tell you what about Maddison, and I've heard this from Leicester fans as well. You know, he's so silky and he's so good on the ball. You know, we all know that. Do you know what I mean? But he's defensive qualities, and when the chips are down, do you know what I mean? He's not. You know, sometimes he can go a little bit wanting, so I think that has to change. And but he has got to change, especially against the, you know, you say against the bigger sides, but even the smaller sides. Do you know what I mean? He's got to, you know, can't keep playing with his high line and all that, and he'll get caught out. And I don't see it. And Tottenham fans are sort of just saying, you know, he's Ange, isn't he? You know, we're just happy to play good football. Well, you've heard this from Tottenham fans over time, haven't you? You know, we're just happy to play good football. We don't care about winning trophies. Well, you're not winning nothing this year. And to be honest with you, I don't think they're going to get Champions League football either anyway. But, I mean, he's got to change, mate, for me. Otherwise, I think they'll be in trouble.
What's your thoughts on this one, Garth? Do you think he needs to change his ways, or he should stick to his guns and the team will get used to it and they bring in better players and then that'll sort of culminate in the side being better?
Yeah, I mean, it depends which way you look at it. Because for me, Spurs are exactly where Spurs should be. Like, I think he's doing a great job with Spurs. Spurs are a fifth place team, in my opinion, on the outskirts of Champions League. Always like the fourth place team if they're lucky, but only if, like this season, Man United and Chelsea are both doing absolute rubbish. Because otherwise, they're the fifth place team. Like, you've now got Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City guaranteed for in that top four, and then Man United, Chelsea. Like, so I think he's doing fine. I like his style of football. I like the way he is. He's got a team very much like Man United's at the moment, which he's got a banging 13 players, 12, 13 players. But the moment 2 or 3 of them are down, that team is weak. You're playing skip. You know what I mean? No offense to him, but like that's not a good replacement for the players you got out there at the time.
Yeah.
Like,
and Werner ain't it, is he? I watched Werner. I watched him against him. He didn't do a lot.
He's one of them ones you sign in because you ain't got no money, but you need a body who's capable. It doesn't matter good, and that's what he is, isn't he? He's better than your reserve team. A bit like why we signed Reguilon from them, because it's better than our youth players. He ain't that great, but he's a consistent and confident, and like he knows what he's doing in the league. So, but I like him. Does he need to do something different? Like I say, that really depends on where you stand on Spurs as a team. If you think they should be challenging, because they're 5 points behind Arsenal, at the moment, and you boys are playing out of your skin. You know what I mean? They're so what's that? They're 7 points off the title. For a lot of people, that's still in the title race. 7 points. Like for me, it isn't. For me, it isn't because they're not there. But yeah, I think he's doing fine, and I think if you're a Spurs fan right now, listen, having lived through Mourinho myself, and then Conte as well, I can imagine that they're just happy to watch some nice, free-flowing football. You know what I mean? And getting, I reckon they sneak it, Steve. For me personally, I think they sneak the Champions League. So no, I reckon stick with what you're doing, mate.
Do you think that? So I'll get to your question a bit. Now the reason why I bring up the Tottenham is because they dropped points to Everton last minute. They did the same thing to against Wolves last minute, conceded 2 goals. They have a bad habit of conceding very late goals, and for me, I'm just saying it in terms of, is it going to get to a point where it's all right now because it's all fresh? Is it going to get to a point where there's some crucial points lost because they're not shoring things up? Like if it gets to the last game of the season, they need to win. They're 2-1 up, 10 minutes to go, and he's still going forward. They end up losing or drawing, and they're not in the Champions League. It's that.
That's the you die on your sword, isn't it?
Fine margins, isn't it?
Yeah, and exactly. I 100% here. The moment it becomes apparent that he is stubbornly refusing to change the end of games and see him out, when let's say he's playing Arsenal and Spurs are 2-1 up, and then he's like 10 minutes to go, he isn't shutting up shop, then obviously, then you can start saying he needs to change 100%. But at the moment, where Spurs are, for me, that's where they belong. With the team he's got, I think he's doing a decent enough job there, and I don't think he should be too worried about losing a few points here and there along the way. So at the moment, if he goes and spends 300 million in the summer, again, do you see what I mean? It really changes where you think Spurs should be in the league. So,
so do you think that Aston Villa are not going to have enough to hold that full spot in, Garth?
No, not for me. This is where I just think Spurs if Spurs stay injury free, their first 11 is better and more equipped to go the distance over Villa's first 11. Really will come down to injuries, and I don't know what big teams they've got left to play. Actually, saying that, so like if it turns out Spurs have got 6 of the big 6 left to play, or maybe I'll change it. But no, Spurs just through experience pip Villa in the end. So, I think purple patch don't last.
Question.
Yeah, no, I think what just nips it for. I mean, it's fine margins, and I think we've obviously got to say it is between Aston Villa. The thing that just tips it for me is the fact that with Emery, I don't know, if it comes down to like those sort of games, what we've just been talking about, if they're 2-1 down or they're 2-1 up, Emery's just, for me, streets ahead of Ange Postecoglou. I mean, there will be people argue with that, and they'll probably have a good argument. But for me, Emery is a little bit of a class above Ange Postecoglou, and they're both managing 2 similar teams fighting for 4th place. So,
they're playing each other as well.
So I think just on that.
So, Steve, I'll go back to, obviously, it's a different team, but Unai Emery is obviously manager of Arsenal. Did you not think that there were some times with Arsenal that Unai Emery panicked a little bit and maybe shut up shop a bit too early in games, which then led to the I think off the top of my head, I think it was Crystal Palace and Brighton. We tried to just get a point out of it, or try to get something out of it in the end, when we're Arsenal. Can't be trying to get a point in the end against Brighton and we end up losing. And Basuma standing over one of our players on their knees when they miss out on the Champions League, laughing at them. So he's very, very.
It's a good point.
Does it, bro?
I was at that Brighton. I was at that Brighton.
You ripping that wound open as you were saying it. That wound was getting ripped open.
I think we got like 2 points in the last 6 games that season.
It was like criminal.
We was like shooing for Champions League.
You've already said it, Steve. It's fine margin. That's what it comes down to. I was just looking at Spurs fixtures run up. It doesn't look like they've got too many big bad boys coming up. But they got Villa at Villa Park, so that could. This is what I mean. The running, like, because all jokes aside, if like Man United can go on a run, but I don't think they will make Champions League. But you've got United on the outskirts, and then Spurs and Villa fighting over fourth, and then you three fighting over number one. It's going to be a great running. I hope we get this all the way to the end of the season.
He might. You know him. He might realise that he's going for Champions League and go, whoa, hold on a minute, I need to be Europa League.
Yeah, no, he's got that in his locker. I think Villa are still well in it, aren't they? In the Europa League, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Now they'll win it. I think they'll win it. Mate.
Oh, in it. Sorry, I'm with you.
Yeah. What have they got? They've got. Has it not been?
No, mate, Villa. I'd love to see Villa win Europa League because they're a solid old club. You know what I mean? One of the oldest. They haven't had success in a long. It's one of them ones. It'd be nice to see them. Like, I've got nothing against Villa. Like,
I tell you something. I tell you, I've got someone to thank against, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. Is Chelsea? Come on, I mean, it just can't get any better, could it? You know, shit club, shit ground, shit owners, shit players, absolutely shit.
And they
shit journalists, shit supporters.
They can't get rid of
shit.
They can't get rid of
people for the language.
They can't get rid of Poch because of FFP.
Yeah, how much is it going to cost them? That's what I was wondering.
It's like they were saying, weren't it? You know, they got Casido and Endo Fernandez cost 220 billion. They gave us Jorginho for 12 million.
Yeah, I think the thing with Chelsea, Steve, is if Poch goes, if they get the right manager in, that team is ready. Like, they have got oh yeah. I think if you get the right manager into this is the Nunes thing again, because I like Nkunku from what I've seen of him.
I like Nkunku. I like Nkunku. I don't rate Sterling. Don't rate him.
Sterling's what happened to Sterling?
Not at Chelsea anyway. Not at Chelsea. I rated him at Villa. I rate at Man City and Liverpool. Brilliant. Sterling. Nothing but good things to say about him. At Chelsea, mate. But they ruin footballers. You know, they're known for it. They know, you say about they got Casido and Enzo's gone to there. You know,
I like for them,
and they look like championship players.
I know what you're saying. I like both of them. I like the one they signed. Did they get the Southampton one as well? The Lavia, they did, didn't they?
They got him as well.
I liked him. I liked him as well.
Did they really need Lavia? As he played any games, they brought him injured. It's ridiculous. It's a mess. They don't know what they're doing. It's going to cost them 10 million to get rid of Pochettino and the backroom staff.
Yeah.
I said this on a couple of videos, and Chelsea fans tried to tell me that I didn't know anything about FFP, but they have to. They have to sell £100 million worth of players minimum each season to break even. Otherwise, they're banging trouble.
Which is mad.
And this is not even the Champions League. This is not even the Champions League financial fair play. This is the Premier League financial fair play.
I mean, they bought two Hollywood actors, didn't they? In Denzel Washington and Action Jackson. I mean, who are they? I've never heard of them.
You know what? David, this is why I think he plays champ, because David Washington is like one of, like back in the day, kid, like that Brazilian who's no good in real life, really, but on champ, he's absolutely banging. On
Fabio
champ, he's absolutely...
You see the story. You see the story. Was it? Fabio Payam drops the story. It was like, I was the best at sport in Lisbon. Everyone used to say that out of me and Ronaldo, I was the best. Ronaldo dropped the story about a week later. It was like, I don't even know who this guy is. I was like, yes, you do. Don't do dirty like that. You do. I know who he is.
Never forget. The streets will never
forget.
But
everybody who leaves Chelsea gets better when they leave.
Oh, yeah,
everybody gets better. Even
I just think they need a good man.
Fofana left, didn't he? Fofana left. Ain't scored a goal all season for Chelsea. Goes to Burnley, scores a couple the weekend.
The biggest mistake they made was getting rid of Thomas Tuchel. It made no sense whatsoever. He had a 60% win rate. He'd managed like 100 games. He was a good manager. I worried when we was playing Chelsea with him as the manager. I don't worry against these lot. I'm disappointed if we don't beat Chelsea because they are rubbish. They're a mess.
Yeah.
Right.
They must have shipped 4 goals at least 4 times already this season.
We can't be too harsh about it. I mean, they give us Jorginho and Abbott, so thank you.
Oh well, they were saying that they were happy with that at the start of the season, but Jorginho, we didn't even mention Jorginho, but absolutely outstanding yesterday.
Yeah,
brilliant yesterday. All right, that is all we have time for. Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight. Thank you for joining us, Russ. Thank you for joining us, Garth.
Pleasure as always. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us as well, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure. Thank you.
All right. Make sure you join us for all the post-match reactions. Make sure you join us next Monday at 8 o'clock for the Super Six podcast. Hopefully, Farrell joins us. Farrell.
He ain't getting away with it. Don't worry about
There's
that.
no way he's getting out of it. I will move.
He's a man in pain, lads. He's in mourning. Allow him. You know, Marino. Klopp's gone. Just got spanked up by Arsenal. You can allow him a week.
Still there, and apparently he's meant to galvanise the team to win in the league. So I'm not having none of it. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure.
If you are new to the show, make sure you press that like. Well, no, don't make sure. I'd appreciate it if you did press that like and subscribe button.
No pressure. No pressure.
It's free. Just press it. If you are regular to the show, press that like and press that copy button. Press the share button and the copy button. It all helps the algorithm to put us on the top page. Appreciate your support. Peace out. Stay safe and wash your hands.